Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Respawning UK podcast. This is our first ever edition. I am Joseph, and I am here today with my good friend Ben, Aditya, Salman, and Will. And we are very excited. So let's go around. Ben, why don't you say hello?
Hi guys, I'm this weird floating voice in your head. Assuming you're using headphones.
We are in space. We're in the void of your mind.
We are.
Speaking to you. We are your conscious.
We're no longer in your eyes, but now we're in your ears as well.
Yes. So we've got Will Jones. Everyone, say hello to Will.
You mum gay?
Obviously, Will is the only 14 years old. Actually. He is still using words like that to hurt my feelings, and it's
Naughty boy.
Yes. Speaking of which, there's Salman, the actual 14-year-old.
Hello.
How
I like video game.
How is it over there in Pakistan?
It's alright. I mean, Syria's exploding right now, I think, but we're good over here.
It's busy. It's pretty busy. And finally, Aditya, how are you today?
I'm Aditya and I do content editing at Respawning and I play fighting games.
See, you got a serious answer there. Yes, we are a gaming news and review site. So, I mean, it's only fair to ask what we've been playing, right? We play video games sometimes.
Occasionally.
Occasionally. We've had some releases recently. We haven't had a release. God of War is coming out in the next week or so.
I think it's Friday.
Yeah, I believe it is next Friday, on the 20th. The 20th is the Friday, of course. Yes, I'm right. We've had a expansion release for Hearthstone, other little bits and bobs here and there, but that's only assuming we only play modern games. Ben, what have you been playing?
I'm actually playing Train Simulator.
Oh, which one?
2018.
Is there still like a massively deafening amount of DLC in there?
Yeah, like there's huge amounts. Like I've actually been looking at getting the DLC on the line that runs from London to Leeds.
Oh wow,
That's sweet. So
That's
I never played Train Simulator. Is it just like your dad having that really boring train set in his basement, but it's on Steam?
I mean,
That's the impression
sort
I get.
of, except so basically, you're sitting in the cab of the train and you're driving it.
Oh, cool, nice.
The only simulator game I ever played
you can
was
use fully cinematic cameras as well. So
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I was saying the only simulator game I ever played was Farming Simulator on the Switch. And that was probably one of the worst games I've ever played. Check out the review on Respawn.
and probably the closest example to a similar game is probably something like Euro Truck Simulator.
Yeah.
I did like Euro Truck Simulator.
It's technically really boring, but you'll enjoy it anyway.
Yeah,
That kind of thing.
it's just something you like.
Yeah, in theory this shouldn't work, but I have 5,000 hours on it. How does it work?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot in there. I'm not sure what my Steam's saying. I think
We will not demonstrate exactly how many hours just before anyone thinks we're losers. Any more than they already do.
I have 400 hours of Fallout 4.
I have 107 in American Truck Simulator.
I have three Persona 4 files that all 100 hours.
Oh man.
Jeez, man.
What about Will? Will, I'm guessing you haven't been playing Train Simulator recently.
No, I
What have you
haven't.
been playing?
Right, so Hearthstone, that's the big thing. The Witchwood came out this week, big expansion.
That's right.
It is really spooky, which is what they set out to do. It's pretty decent.
Yeah, I'm actually playing loads of that at the moment. There's a new Battlecry Shaman deck, which is pairing things up, and it has climbed me to 14 so far.
In fact, I'm actually playing it right now, and I'm trying to play some kind of like weird Murloc Shaman deck because I'm poor as hell, so I cannot afford to buy any cards. So every time expansion comes out, it's like 3 weeks of just grinding to get like 2 or 3 decent cards.
Yeah, some people are like that with Hearthstone. They don't spend a penny, or they've got like different gold strategies, stuff like that.
The last expansion, Kobolds and Catacombs, I really enjoyed because you didn't actually have to play against other players. It was just a single player, really heavy thing, which I really like because I meant that it was free essentially.
Yeah,
Good. I enjoyed that.
Well, yeah, that's pretty cool. Witchwood expansion it's doing pretty good so far.
And also, there's a big Overwatch expansion this week as well.
Oh yes, I have yet to
Ew.
play that.
It's Salman trying not to vomit. Salman.
All of these
Yeah.
games I just don't play.
I'm currently writing an article right now about how, basically, to those of you that might have played the Uprising event last year, it was kind of a big PvE.
Yeah, I heard about that.
There's never been PvP. It's a PvE kind of raid thing, and it was really good fun. Really good on the story front because it was one of the only ones where it actually told a story within the universe rather than being not canon. And also, it was just it was really good fun in terms of the character and the gameplay as well.
See, if Overwatch had a story, I could tolerate it.
Exactly, and this is the thing, right? You only get to play these events for 2 weeks a year, right? And they're the best part of the game. In fact, I'd say they're the only part of the game worth playing right now. Because even I will defend Overwatch until the cows come home, even though I know it's a very, very flawed game.
Do you have to
Even
be
I'm
a
starting
certain
to get-
level to do the event?
No, it's entry level.
Everyone.
It's open to everyone.
So you could just jump in for 2 weeks every year and then just not play the rest of the year.
You could do, yeah, which I'm genuinely considering doing. Only issue is that then I'm only left to my Discord server only really has 3 shooters, and it's Overwatch, Fortnite, and Rainbow Six Siege. As you can imagine, just playing nothing but Fortnite and Siege, you get like, I'm already bored of Fortnite. I haven't even played maybe 20 hours of it. I'm already bored of it.
Hey,
Like,
that's a good point. What
Yeah.
do you guys think of Fortnite?
I hated it first, but now it's pretty fun actually. I think the reason why it's popular is mainly because it's free, and also because it's polished as shit and not like a janky piece of shit like
PUBG.
PUBG. Yeah.
We'll talk janky pieces of shit. We want to talk janky pieces of shit. We can talk about Radical Heights because holy crap, Salman, you did the news article, didn't you? And then
I did.
I did.
and then I did. Oh yeah.
You got to
Okay,
remember
so
though
it's
that Radical Heights
embarrassing.
is pre-alpha though. It's not
It's
even in
pre-alpha.
alpha yet.
But they're still trying to make money off of it. They've spent 5
True.
months, and when you're trying to enter a market that is currently dominated by PUBG and Fortnite, and they're some of the most best-selling games of all time, and they're not showing any sign of slowing down, and you release a buggy piece of shit after 5 months' work that isn't even redeemed by the features that work properly.
If
just
any
don't
of them
get-
do work properly.
If any of them, yeah. You watch gameplay and it looks like somebody tried to recreate PUBG by spending 2 days in Gary's mod. That's about what it looks like. Like seriously,
So it's not even like a Unity game. It's
it just looks awful. Like half the buildings are just grey rectangles with no textures applied. That's the level of lack of polish we're talking here.
the video.
and-
The video trailer of it actually looks like there's quite a bit of detail in there.
It does, because I'm guessing I've only seen gameplay footage because I'm not playing it myself. But it seems like some areas in the middle and stuff are really are like, I wouldn't say well done, but they're functional. But if you like go to certain areas of the map that just haven't finished it, it's still got dev textures on there. And the fact that this isn't just some indie studio trying to like enter
break
the
out.
industry in the least creative way possible. This is Boss Key, which is it's owned by Cliff Blazinski. The guy that
But we
created.
don't
Oh.
talk about Cliff Blazinski.
Poor Cliffy. Always late to the party.
Always late.
I want to make another multi-million-dollar IP. And it's gonna be great. We're gonna call it Fortnite. Oh,
Shit.
It's gonna appeal to feminists and gamers.
feminist is awesome.
We're gonna have a gigantic black lady that yells, "Oh, hey, a big mama going through!" The social justice community will just love it.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
So yeah, that was Fortnite. But Salmon, I'm desperate to know what video games do you play? Do you
What
even
video
play
games have I been? No, I don't know what video games are. But okay, let's see. I have been playing Resident Evil 1 again, and I've been having a
Oh.
really good time with it. I haven't played it in a long time, so it's all fresh to me. And whenever my brother walks in and sees me saving, he shuts down the game because I'm apparently bad at the game. And then what else am I playing? I'm still playing Monster Hunter like crazy. That game's amazing. But I think 50 hours in, you can kind of finally see the cracks. Like
Yeah.
it's just like now I know why people complain that there's barely any content because like come on, there's only 30 monsters, and then around the end game you're only going to be fighting like 5 because those are the big boys.
The biggest.
Let's
boys.
see, the biggest of boys.
I did
Other
want to
than
say
that,
real quick.
I think if I got to the point in Monster Hunter where I was at the end game, I'll just try and go into the low level ones and see if I can one shot them.
oh yeah, no, you can do that. And it's really fun.
Just killing them all. But yeah, I do want to say I've never played a Resident. Well, I've played Resident Evil 5, but I haven't played any of the old ones.
Yeah, I mean, I can do even better than that. I've never played a Resident Evil game.
And
Resident Evil's one of those series that doesn't like. It's not like a. It doesn't get a little bit better, a little bit worse. It just starts, then kind of keeps going until it goes to shit, and then it completely reinvents itself and has
And then
no
it
idea.
creates a film series that also links in.
Yeah, but just gives up every time it does something wrong.
Oh
It's kind of like me, actually, but as a game series.
Actually, I disagree. I love Resident Evil. I think every entry in the series is like fantastic, except for 5, because all right, Resident Evil 4 was when the game started becoming all actiony and shit, and but it still had a really like heavy emphasis on horror, like at least during the first and second act. Then you go to like Resident Evil 5, which tries to do the same thing. It tries to be an action game and a horror game, and it fails at being a horror game. Which is why I don't like Resident Evil 5. It's just like clunky and retarded. But then you get to 6, and 6 is a full blown like action game with like a crazy amount of content, and it's really fun to play. So like, yeah, I don't think any entry in that series is bad. Then again, I've only played like Resident Evil 2 for like 30 minutes, and like Resident Evil 3 like for like 10. So I haven't played like most of the classics.
I will say that if you guys want to play Resident Evil 4, the definitive edition is actually the Wii version because it has the best control scheme.
Really?
Yeah, the control scheme of the entire series kind of upset me in a lot of ways.
Well, that's kind of the point, right?
Okay.
All the other versions.
Yeah.
They
Start
made
to-
the whole camera system in the first one and the aiming system is meant to make you feel like disconnected and like slightly panicky because you're not in full
Like
control.
because you don't have full control, yeah. And
Yeah.
I was really concerned how they're gonna handle that in Resident Evil 7, but somehow they nailed it. Like you really do feel like kind of clunky and like slow. And it's great.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Interesting, yeah.
But it's fair
Yeah.
to say, to be honest.
Well, yeah. So other than Resident Evil, I've been playing another horror game called Detention on the Switch, and I actually beat it just this afternoon. And it's a good game. It's one of those. It's more like kind of a walking simulator with horror and like story narrative elements and stuff like that, and very light puzzle solving, but it's still like fun and creative. I think the art style in that game is amazing. It looks all like photorealistic half the time, and then like really janky, like it's made out of paper at one point. And yeah, so I'd highly recommend that game. That game's great.
I actually think that games with photorealistic graphics are actually really hard because obviously photorealistic is never going to be as close to what it's aiming to be, which is realistic.
Well, no, the thing about Detention is it uses like real life photos and stuff, just for the horror aspect of it. So like there's a scene where like there's a bunch of like human eyes like floating around and it looks really creepy, stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you say that it can't get realistic, but here's like a kind of a tangent here. But I in fact recently found out that certain companies that are trying to make autonomous cars, Google included, have managed to speed up their research and learning time, their computerized learning time, by using, instead of like a physical car on an actual road, they just program a bot that learns using GTA 5 because it's so close to real world graphics.
They don't use
I
my
say
GTA.
graphics. Yeah, I hope not. But it's close enough, and because the traffic kind of works close enough to real traffic, it sped up the production of these algorithms like by about 30, 40, 50 fold. It's ridiculous.
Oh, damn.
It's like 7 hours per frame versus 20 seconds. It's ridiculous.
That is pretty crazy.
That's pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah.
See, video games are helpful, Mom.
We do good stuff sometimes. But yes, it's only fair now. I asked Aditya what you have been playing. We've gone through everyone else, except the foreigner.
All right. Well, I don't know if you guys like fighting games as much as I do. You probably don't.
I do.
I've been playing Injustice, if that counts.
Sure.
No.
So I've just been playing like Tekken 7, like I usually do. I love that game. I have like 600 hours in that game.
Tekken 7's a newer one, isn't it?
And
Yeah, I did have a lot of interest in Tekken, kind of, when I was younger. I had a friend who used to really love Tekken as a series. I didn't really understand it, but it was the one I always got interested in more than something like Street Fighter.
Yeah.
But I could never get into fighting games. I mean, like I say, I only played Injustice a bit. My friend came up with Injustice 2, had a bit of fun on that, but I've never been into that genre per se.
Isn't Gods Among Us
Probably.
the recent Injustice one?
Mm.
Gods Among Us is the first one, and then the second one is just called Injustice 2.
The
Hmm.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are in that one.
Mm.
It's
Hmm.
pretty fun. I love playing as the Turtles.
1, 2, 3, 4. Capitalism.
Wait. Okay, I had a question about the turtles because I never bothered. I hate Injustice, so like I just
Yeah.
wanted to know how the turtles work as a mechanic. So like, are they like one character or what's the whole deal with
Right, I
that?
can explain this. So in with Injustice, there's like a customization. You can like change your character's skin,
Yeah.
some of like their weapons and stuff like that, little details. So with the turtles, there is one character slot for the turtle, but
Okay.
if you change the weapon, it'll change the turtle to match the weapon. So if you've got like nunchucks,
Ah.
you've got Michelangelo, if you've got the staff, you Donatello. So you do have to customize just before you start like a match or anything, but you can, in a sense, main a specific turtle.
So I'm guessing each turtle has like a bunch of universal moves, like every turtle has them, and then like some specific ones that only
Yeah.
some have.
Yeah,
Huh.
you've got like individual dialogue, and they use the
Okay.
weapons in different ways. They've all got different animation, but I
Okay.
think they have like a super move that's together, and I think that's the same, like depending on who you are, because it's using all
Ah,
four
yeah.
of them.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, the turtles are fun, but you know what else is
Yeah.
fun? Apparently, God of War getting 100 out of 10 in the last week.
What?
Yes.
Whoa, 1,000,000,000 out of 10.
Yeah, I think it's only fair that we at least talk about God of War. Does anyone have any experience with the God of War series?
Yeah, I've played most of them except for like Absolution, I think. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think there
Ascension.
are some-
Ascension. Yeah, that one. I didn't play that
Um,
one.
It's one of those game series that I'm like pretty familiar with because it's just such a popular series, and you kind of hear about it, and you pay attention to why it's popular and things that are similar to it, so you kind of get an idea of what it is. This new one, I know nothing about. I've watched all the trailers that come out because it looks really cool, and it looks like it plays like it's going to tell a really cool story, which is what I really like my games for.
Mhm.
But I can't fathom how different or similar or however it's going to be to the old ones in terms of how it actually plays. Like,
Yeah.
it seems like on the surface it's the same. You swipe some stuff around and then stuff dies, but some of it you can't figure out. Is this like a cutscene? Is it going to make a really QTE heavy? So that got me really worried. But with these reviews coming out saying that it's the absolute shit, 10 out of 10. I think I'm probably going to pick this up. It might get me into the series, which is good because soft reboot, good time to get in.
Well, one thing I feel is like the reason for like surge of 10 out of 10s is the fact that it's got the young kid as like a side AI.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's going down the Last of Us route
Ah!
in
I'm
terms
sorry.
of narrative.
Uh-huh.
Like the Last of Us was, I suppose, like gameplay wise, pretty bog standard. Picking up ladders, putting ladders down.
Oh, God. Yeah.
But as soon as
The Last of Us was definitely more focused on the story
yes,
rather
Yeah.
than gameplay, though.
yeah,
How-
and I feel like that's where we're going with God of War. I have no idea. But,
Except there's far more action within.
yeah, there's more of like emotionally narrative rather than I suppose something that kind of focuses on father-son relationships or taking. So it's a bit more heavy in that side.
I haven't.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've always had like I've been skeptical about this game for like the time, and like I'm cautiously optimistic when I play it. Like I don't know what I want out of it. I just want I want crazy Psycho Kratos back. I don't want Daddy Kratos.
Yeah. I just feel like it's going to be one of those titles that will cause a lot of discussion. A lot of people will feel the narrative, and a lot of people will, be in that experience just for that. They don't
Yeah.
really care about the gameplay. They just really want to get through the story. That's why you've got a lot
Also,
of
it's just
games
like
and
30 FPS on
Yes.
the regular PS4, except for the PS4 Pro where you have a 60 FPS option, and that's upsetting because I only have a regular baby PS4.
Yeah, I've actually heard a
want
lot
my
of
60
discussion
yeah.
just about the fact that it's 30 frames per second. Obviously, it's going to cause like a lot of discussions anyway. But
Oh, yeah,
I've seen a
definitely.
lot of Twitter beef just about the 30 FPS.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've been playing God of War
Performance.
since like the first game came out, basically, and even though they've never had a lock on the 30 FPS, they've been 60 FPS air quotes. It's always run at like 35 to 45 FPS. So
All right.
honestly, I'd rather that they just cap it at 30 instead of it looking stuttery. It's just like a mess that way.
If it's worked like that, I mean, I can't talk because I haven't played them, but if it works like that, it's fine. But it seems to me that it seems to be taking on a much slower, kind of more complex. Graphically, it's very impressive, more impressive than the other ones. So my concern will be if it runs quote at 30 FPS, will it stay at 30 FPS, or will it like completely bugger your older system and go 29, 25, 20, 15 FPS at important moments? Because
I've actually looked at like a couple of videos from people who have already access to it, and it seems to be pretty much rock solid stable, except for like one or two cutscene moments where it drops to 29.
To be
Which is
honest,
fine,
was
I
gonna
think.
say, like, if there's a 60 FPS option on the Pro, they obviously know the limitations of the hardware, and they know they're not going to just sort of boil the experience down during those moments and ruin, it for one side of people, because a lot of people will just have the normal PS4, and they're blocking that off purposely, making sure it runs smooth, and I don't think they're going to let like a major Sony title flop in that sense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
What I think would be
Although I've heard-
interesting for me to see is, will the cutscenes be at 30 frames on the PS4? No, with the PS4 Pro, like they are on the standard PS4, along with the gameplay, or will it be like the cutscenes are going to be 60 on the PS4 Pro as well? Because
That's
it's
actually
possible
very
that they'll only have the same footage,
Yeah.
because you'd need
Well,
a second video.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about the game. The whole marketing gimmick around this game lately has been like this one long take.
Oh yeah. Like
In-game.
Birdman.
Oh, so it's kind of like no
I can-
loading screens.
I completely forgot about that.
I haven't heard about this.
So yeah,
Actually, yeah. Even the PS4 Pro only runs at about 40 FPS. So I don't think there's going to be much of a difference, honestly. Like,
So it's not even 60.
it can hit 60 in closed rooms and closed areas.
Oh, okay.
It's
You look at the
possible.
floor.
Just look right up into the sky. Smooth.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to have to be the dick that says this. If it was on PC, it would be 60 all the time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, but
Oh yeah.
Sony own
it's that same,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Sony exclusives.
Well, it's
So
made by
why?
Sony, so
Yeah, Sony are hitting out the fan this year, I believe. We've got apparently Kingdom Hearts 3. Apparently.
Oh
Whenever that
no.
happens.
No, that's
We've
not
got
happening.
God of War. We've got the new Spider-Man game. Sony are doing pretty well for themselves, to be honest.
Yeah.
How's Scalebound going, Microsoft?
No. Now I'm sad.
Too soon. Too soon still.
I
Yeah.
feel like I've always loved Sony's game division. They make really great video games. But I've always hated like the other business side of Sony because they're so anti-consumer, like with half their practices. Like, game you have to pay for online, like, and of course, like, these are things that Microsoft does as well. But at least Microsoft has like cross-buy, like that. You know?
I always appreciate Microsoft for their community side of stuff. Like, I feel Major Nelson, like the main community guy from Microsoft, who has been for years. Obviously, he's open about every single decision, and you sort of understand where Microsoft's coming from when they do something a little stupid. Like, you kind of like, come on, guys, why did you do this? And it's like, well, we thought this would work. It's like, oh, okay, well, don't do it next time. And they do correct themselves.
The other thing Sony are doing a lot of at the minute is like not allowing crossplay between platforms.
Yeah,
I was gonna bring that up. Yeah.
like you can play
Because
Fortnite.
like they're the thing
on
that are
PC and-
stopping people from doing it.
Oh yeah.
Or something like.
Although you can still play cross-platform between PC on games like Rocket League.
And Fortnite.
Yeah.
Don't
And
forget
Street Fighter.
Fortnite.
Don't forget it.
It's the biggest game of the year, guys. Of
It
last year.
is the game of the year.
I'd say it's not the best game of the year, but it deserves it. I think it's got enough level of polish and it's got enough unique, enough unique going for it that. And it's
Didn't
Ah,
PUBG win
well,
Game
well.
of the Year last year?
No, it was up for it was up for
Oh.
a few awards.
Gross.
I was.
Was it
very-
like GTA won it again?
No, it was Zelda and Mario. That
Oh,
was
yeah,
from
that's right.
the team last year.
Because GTA
Oh, yeah.
won it year after year,
Yeah, they did.
even though it was technically not the same game.
Yeah, ever since 2013 to 16, it's just been GTA 5.
Oh yeah.
a pretty good game, innit?
Man, you know who else is like anti-consumer? I think Nintendo is like,
Yes.
man, you've knocked it out of the park with the Switch, but like do some more stuff.
You've done good so far, but can you please do something? Like, you've only just got it started. Where's my updates? Where's my Netflix?
Where's my Netflix?
Where's my Animal Crossing for Smash?
Where's the web browser?
Yeah, where's Homebrew so I can get all your games for free?
Can you access YouTube
Yeah.
on Switch?
No, you cannot currently.
You can't even
Nope.
do. Wow.
No. There is a weirdly enough a web browser.
It's
I
like
was-
hidden.
I was connecting something. I was connecting a game to my Facebook the other day. I can't remember what game it was or how I even started to connect it. I think it was so I could post. Oh, it was with Attack on Titan 2, so I could get some game or something. I can't remember, but
Okay.
it brought me to the login screen for Facebook, and then I logged in, and instead of redirecting me back to the game, it just sort of had me on the Facebook page. Like I
Uh-huh.
was able to scroll in my feed and send a chat.
Hmm.
So it's like,
So it's
It's-
there. It was just not accessible.
yeah, I think it's because they know, like, as soon as someone does that, they're gonna be stuck.
Oh yeah, they are.
I just
Man.
thought, what would happen if I like clicked a link though? If I had gone to a website?
I remember the early days of Switch, like, if you signed into Facebook and went all the way down, there'd be an option for Google, and then you could just like open up Google, and then you had the web browser available to you. You could watch YouTube videos and everything.
Right. I should have tried that.
So you're not able to
Yeah.
access the address bar.
No,
No.
that was not
Right.
that. It was just like blocked off. It's like if you had F11 on while you were just browsing Facebook.
Okay,
that's
yeah.
what it was. But you know,
Oh,
if someone
yeah.
sent me a link, I would have been interested to see how that works. Because obviously links work. That's how-
See, I mean, I think Nintendo nailed it with the web browser on the 3DS because you could like find 3D hentai, but like you know,
the technology is there, guys.
I don't think they went in big in with a marketing push on that particular feature. You know, they could have sold a lot more units if they.
no. But Shigeru had it in mind. Don't.
God bless Shigeru.
I often see adverts and they say to games, they say try not to come, but they've did. And to me, that's bad game design.
See now the Switch is HD Rumble, so let's see what they do with that.
Oh man,
Gotta love the HD Rumble.
new WarioWare, stick the controller up your ass.
The technology is there. Come on.
We're just not making
Come on,
it.
Nintendo.
We're not applying the technology.
Oh man, when's Fortnite on the Switch?
Come on, Nintendo.
I think it'll come about the same time that they finally port Skyrim to microwave. Because I've been waiting a long time for that.
It's gonna happen.
Oh, yeah.
I bought the microwave thinking it was coming, and the microwave's just been sat in my kitchen ever since. Like,
You don't even use it to cook food.
Yeah, man.
It's just my Skyrim machine. God.
yeah.
Oh, yes, we've had a fun little kind of recent few weeks in gaming, I suppose. You know, God of War is looking optimistic, and the rest of the year. But what about movies? Specifically, the recent sudden sort of cult following of A Quiet Place, directed and starring John Krasinski from The Office, about a
Who?
world where aliens hunt down what is sound. Don't make a sound, because they'll come and kill you. Ugh. But yes, A Quiet Place. What do you all think of A Quiet Place?
I have never heard of it. Haha.
Heard of it? It's you.
He got you good.
The thing, right? I heard a lot about A Quiet Place, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Mainly because it has John Krasinski, but like the main thing I heard was like that he really pushed for them to get an actual deaf person to play the deaf person in
Yeah,
the story.
I saw this link as well. I was really interested by that because it's like,
Which, you know, it's gave me like a lot of respect for like his work and his team. Like,
yeah, I do love John Krasinski a lot. I'm not gonna lie. And as soon as I heard about he was doing a movie with his wife, I was interested to know what sort of movie it was. When I heard A Quiet Place and saw that it was gonna be him and his wife, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a cute little rom-com. But then
Nope.
now it's about murder and aliens. Honestly, I haven't seen it, but I'm gonna just say aliens because I don't think it's on the paranormal side per se. More like some sort of creature.
Fair enough.
I think it's awesome to see more horror films being clever like this. I don't know what sort of movies you guys watch when it comes to horrors. You ever saw like Saw, Friday the 13th, stuff like that. But
I'm a huge horror
always
movie
avoided that.
fan, yeah.
You're a horror
Yeah,
fan,
same.
fan. Oh,
I am the complete opposite. I've only actually ever seen one horror film, and it was actually a spoof horror film.
Was it Cabin in the Woods?
No, it was Black Sheep.
Oh.
It's
Oh, I've
one
also
that's
seen-
set in New Zealand, and it's basically about killer sheep.
What?
What?
Is that the one with William Shatner?
I'm not sure who's in it. It was a while ago since I watched it, but
That's a really old, like weird, obscure ass movie, I think.
it was like I think I downloaded it by accident because I was trying to watch something else.
Something
But-
else?
I've got no idea what it was. Like I was just messing around with torrent sites, but
Uh,
I downloaded it and watched it, and I was like, "What the hell was this?"
Yeah,
No, that's
I have a huge love for horror movies. I seek out like really weird shit too. But I think one of my favorite horror movies has to be Trick or Treat. Have you guys heard of this?
I think I've heard of it.
No.
Okay, so it's like a horror anthology thing, and it's just like about Halloween, you know. And I think it's one of the best Halloween movies you could ever watch because it's super, just it pulls off the vibe of Halloween like really really well. Like it's like there's a story of like kids telling stories and doing like stupid shit during Halloween night, and then there's like a story about poison candy and stuff like that. So a bunch of cool stuff in that movie.
The candy's poison.
Yeah, there's poison. There's razor blades and little Snickers.
Yeah. I've been watching Supernatural from the beginning again. And
Oh,
there was
God.
this episode about Bloody Mary. And that's the kind of stuff that I forget how spooky some things are. Why do we tell each other these kind of stories? I don't like them.
Oh, I love spooky stories.
I know you do. You're kind of crazy compared to myself and what
A
I'm
little
God.
wacky, a little out there.
yeah,
Oh,
bit wacky.
you guys must have had that school trip when you're like 13, 14 years old. And you all sat like going, oh, someone goes to the toilet to do Bloody Mary. And you're like, oh, no, I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it. It's good God. That was probably the tensest. You know when you get those scenes in movies where everyone's kind of looking at each other and you know someone's got to do it. And there's just a tension there. Oh, and then
Come on, guys.
and who's gonna be the first one to snap? Who's gonna do it? Who's the weak? Who's the weakling?
Oh yeah.
It was me. I was the weakling. I
bet
shat
you-
myself.
I wonder how
I'm
many
always
times.
that kid pressuring kids to do stupid stuff, like scary stuff.
Whoa,
like,
Salmon,
Whoa,
pressuring
Salmon.
kids.
To do
Recently, we went to an abandoned church, and that was like one of the scariest things I've ever experienced because it was really freaky. Because we went to the abandoned church, and there was a graveyard right next to it. And then as we're driving up the road, and we're like, okay, we're gonna park and go in. My friend goes, "What if there was a creepy red light coming out of the church?" And then because okay, it was like a huge group of friends. We were in two cars. I roll down the window and I hear the other dudes in the car like screaming and like freaking out. And then they're like, there's a candle like lit in there, and I'm like, oh my god. Okay, so
Ooh,
and then like and then a cop stops us. He's like, "What you kids doing, huh?" And we're like, "Oh, we're just looking at the church, sir. Like a lot of kids from our school come here like to like hang out and stuff." He's like, "Oh, okay, I'll stay watch. You guys can check it out." And as we're like heading up the church, right? No one went in except me. This old man just came out of the darkness.
Oh,
I'm not joking. He just showed up and he's speaking in like broken, like not broken, but like I can't really understand it in like Urdu. And he's like, "Oh, I'm Christian and I lit this candle like." And we were just like, at the moment we were like, "Okay, yeah, cool." As we were leaving, I just sat down and I was like, "Okay, why did this creepy old man light a candle in an abandoned church?" Like, man,
Like, was it like in the middle of town or was it like in the middle of nowhere? Like,
it was okay. So there's this so in Lahore, there's like areas in this area called Defense Housing Authority, and then there's like different phases. So I live in phase 2, and there's a new area called phase 6. And
this is
phase
the
6,
Marvel universe.
yes. And in phase 6, there's like barely any houses. It's like a new area. They're building stuff right now. But
Okay.
this church was like there a long time ago, and now it's being torn down. So, it's creepy stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of creepy. I always feel like being with your friends in those situations is enough to sort of, hype up the mood a bit.
Yeah.
You're like,
Oh yeah, definitely.
we're gonna get killed, guys. We're gonna die.
Oh yeah, and I love playing horror games with my friends like that. Like recently, I played Resident Evil 7 like all the way through with my
Oh
friends.
yeah.
Man, now the first time you play Slender with your pals.
Oh my god.
Sleepover, like, oh, it's the Slenderman, and you didn't sleep that night.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah,
Then
I've never
then
even
there's that
actually
one kid who
played
tries
the
to be
Slenderman.
PewDiePie.
Guys.
Oh my god! And then, and then their mum would come in and yell at them for being loud, like.
Yeah. I have a weird spooky story like that. To be fair, Salman, I don't like horror, and I don't like putting myself in a situation to be scared, just because I don't really enjoy it.
Yeah.
If something's on, I kind of get into it in a regard, but I'm not one that actively searches out a horror movie. However, when I was about like 10 years old, there was that Doctor Who episode with the Weeping Angels.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, that's like
No.
the one thing about Doctor Who I
No.
like.
The goddamn Weeping Angels at this time were the most terrifying thing I had ever seen in my life.
Yeah, they shat me
So,
up. Like I
yeah.
hated them. I'm okay
And-
with them now,
yeah.
but god, they were bad.
It's just that the face of the angel has always been so distinct in my mind and what they look
Yeah.
like. So that continues into the story. Because when I was younger, I used to go to a Ukrainian school, like to learn the language of Ukrainian language.
Can you speak Ukrainian?
Yeah, that's what I'm now
Not
wondering.
anymore. I can say
Ah.
thank you. Jakyu.
Isn't that your name?
No, my name is Yosef to them actually.
Yeah.
Ah.
Joseph!
Yosef.
Yosef.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Seth.
Yeah, pretty much. But the school that it was like outside of town a bit, and it's not really a school per se. It's like because it's not owned by a council or a government or anything. It's literally just a courtyard with a small house and like a big hall. So you kind of just it's kind of like someone converted their home into a goddamn language school. And
What?
one day we were there because they've got like a club and a bar and stuff in the hall. So we were there and checking out this big house because I've never looked around at it before. I was there with my brother and my older stepbrother. We were just kind of like, let's go check out the place. So it was
Yeah.
about 9 o'clock. So it was bedtime for me already at this point. I was already pretty sleepy. But we went to check out the house, and the first thing we did was go to the top floor, the one that's always the area no one's really supposed to go to. It's like where the headmaster goes. So we found this room. We're like, all right, let's go check it out. Still like kind of excited. And I'm at the back and my younger brother opens the door, and he looks in, and he doesn't move, and my stepbrother doesn't move either. So I'm like, what the hell's in there, guys? And there's just like a bed with like a statue in the corner next to a painting of like a woman.
Oh God.
And I was like, oh, what the hell is this? And it was, pitch black. There was no goddamn lights or anything anywhere.
Uh-huh.
No one could see. And then someone gets up from the bed, like leans up. I couldn't see anything. It was just like a dark, humanoid shape to me. It just like got up, and like my brother screamed, and we closed the door and ran back downstairs. And that was only like the first thing. That was like, what the hell was in there? I don't even remember it. Did I see a goddamn weeping angel? Was someone in that goddamn bed?
So was it a person or was it just a ghost?
I think later on, when I checked out, well, this is later on, like a few days later when I went back to the normal school, we were allowed on that floor again, because I was doing my GCSEs at this point. So I went for a little poo, not a poo break, God. I went for a little pee break in between, and I thought, I need to know. So I opened it, and there was a bed there, but it's like clearly someone had been in there. There wasn't anyone in the bed, but there was still that statue and that painting, and it just looked so like in my mind what I always imagined like a weeping angel would look like, with the covered eyes, and I was like, I really don't want to be here.
Yeah, that would have completely shat me up.
Yeah. I was like, I really don't want to be here right now.
I think if I had an issue or something like that happen to me, I probably would still have a problem with the weeping angels, but I'm fine with them now.
The thing was for me, going home on that night when we went in the room, I was looking up at the house while we were driving out of the courtyard, and I swear to God I saw like a woman's face or something in the mirror, in the window. That sort of weeping angel face with the smile.
Okay, first of all,
I did not go back.
So like speaking of weeping angels, like that reminds me of another really good movie. Have you guys seen It Follows?
Oh,
I've seen that. I think we have seen It Follows, Joseph, because back when you did my degree, we had to watch that shit. You remember?
I did not watch that actually.
Did you skip that lecture?
I did skip that lecture.
Yeah.
I'm interested in it though. I think it looks.
It's
cool.
such a good movie.
It looks like just kind of an interesting.
Everyone in the lecture was really down on it.
No.
There's only one time when everyone reacted with fear. That's there's a scene where she's looking out of a window and you're looking at her, and then a basketball hits the window, and there's a big boom, and that started in the cinema. Everyone said that was the scariest bit of the movie. So I've kind of been down on the whole movie, but apparently other people have found it really fucking terrifying. So I guess I'm just really good with horror. Speaking of which, actually, with the Weeping Angels, you're lying. There's one thing scarier, and that's those fucking gas mask children. Like,
fuck!
Are you my mummy? Jesus Christ, the terrifying.
But you see, I'm more likely to see a statue rather than a little boy with a gas mask in place.
Yeah.
Also, I will tell you a story all about how my life got flipped and upside down. Back when I was I'm guessing I must have been 11. I just started secondary school, and I brought a friend home, and we were walking my dog in the evening. And I live in the middle of the countryside, right? So there's just fields everywhere. And we're walking through just at the side of my field, and my dog jumps under this gate and goes into the field next door, which wasn't ours. So I think, oh shit, we gotta go find my dog. So I'm sat there trying to walk through this field, and we think, oh, we're intruding here, we shouldn't be here. We're kind of shaking ourselves a little bit, And we swore we could see this, just something moving on beyond the bushes. And there had been this joke just shared around my primary school for a couple of years about a mad farmer who shoots if you go on his fields. And so we were fucking terrified, shitting ourselves, thinking, oh god, we get shot. Felt my dog were walking back. And as we came back, we saw something behind the bush, but very close to us this time. And we came up to it oh god, this is going to be the farmer, we're going to die. But we've got to get past it to go back to our field. And we walked past it was a fucking sheep. So we were pissing ourselves scared. It was just looking at us I was thinking, I wanted to kill and eat the sheep. That's how mad I was.
Goddamn posh.
Hmm?
Poor sheep. He was there like, I hope. Why don't these kids like me?
He was
They're
just
all-
chilling.
Oh man, this talk of horror has gotten me wanting to watch It Follows now. Oh,
Oh yeah, check that out. It's on Netflix.
yeah, I know it's on my list. I really need to go see A Quiet Place now as well. I feel like after having this discussion, I feel like I'm really into that experience now. God, I've done
Ah,
a
yeah.
wonderful 180 all of a sudden. I want to see A Quiet Place. That will be fun.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
Since
Sorry,
we're talking
John
about
Krasinski.
scary story type things, I've actually got one. And
Oh.
it's actually a little
Oh.
bit.
Oh, guys.
So basically, I was at Alton Towers with my family,
Yes.
and I was like, I think I was like 7 or something. And basically, it's in the main castle area. I can't remember what it's called, but basically, the first half of it is you're walking through a thematic area, basically, and it's basically telling a story of how the statues are alive or something like that. And then there's this
Come
one
on, man.
there's this one point where I think a strobe is lighting up a statue, and at the exact moment where it happened, a scream comes out at the same time, and it completely shat me up for the rest of the thing. And you know, like a pirate ship.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, the rest of the ride was you go onto a pirate ship, except it's a whole room, and the walls are also able to turn, so it makes you feel like you're completely upside down, even though you're only at like a 45-degree angle. And on the bottom of it was this really creepy tree type thing, and this really angry face with blood red eyes and stuff like that. And the whole thing
Yeah,
just
kind of.
completely shat me up.
Oh.
Oh,
You can
God.
imagine, man. That would shit me up. Like,
Like,
how old are you? Like,
I think I was about 7, 8.
oh yeah, that would fill you.
I was
that would fill me up
not
for
happy.
life.
I was
I
not
tell you
happy.
what, the first experience I had with like having like a really bad phobia was, you guys ever play Abe's Odyssey on the PS1?
Yeah.
Because that just Abe just fucked me up. Like, I have an overactive imagination and shit.
Oh, because
I-
the Stitch Mouth.
Yeah, his stitched mouth and his big eyes and the big tentacle thing on his head. I used to like look around my house and I swear to God I would hear go hello, and I'm like,
Oh,
oh
God.
shit, he's gonna eat me, like, which doesn't say. But I was 3 when I played that game, like 3 years old.
That game's great, bro.
With
Screwed me
that
up
sort of
until-
mindset, then the Deadpool from the original depiction of Deadpool in
You're on about Wolverine.
the Wolverine film with his stitched mouth, that probably would have shat
That
you
was.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that shut me up because
I mean,
it was a terrible betrayal. of
Yes,
Deadpool.
that's how it scared me. I saw the film last week and it
That
still
movie
scared
is
me.
fucking horrible.
Yeah. They shut up Deadpool? What the-
The elevator
Oh,
scene is
man.
brilliant, though.
Oh yeah, I do like.
Oh,
I
man.
remember that one.
It's not even
I
Deadpool,
don't-
really, is it? It's just
It's just Wade Wilson.
Wade Wilson, yeah.
Yeah. I developed a phobia because of The Grudge. Like, not even like the original Japanese Grudge, but like the.
I was gonna say
the-
you developed a phobia of Japanese girls.
Yeah, basically. Well, like, okay, so when I was like 4, right, my sister just like showed me the cover of, The Grudge, the American one. And
Well,
you
why is
guys
the
know
cover
the
like-
cover. The cover is just like, okay, it's like long black hair and there's one creepy like eye just like bulging out.
Oh yeah.
And that freaked me out so bad. Like, I couldn't even look at that cover for like maybe like 3 or 4 years. And now like I like a couple years ago I saw the Japanese one and the American one, and those are like some of my favorite horror movies now.
Oh man. I remember like I didn't watch horror films for years and years and years and years because I thought, I'd fucking shit myself. To the point where I didn't watch. I got out of the habit of watching them and just didn't watch one until I was like 20 years old. I came to uni and watched The Grudge, and all my friends were shitting themselves because I wasn't because the horror films. I just had no effect on me. Just like,
Uh-huh.
fine. So now I'm yet to be scared by horror films like an adult now. But like, I don't go out looking for them, so I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I have to kind of go see something like It Follows. I can't like take the mindless stuff, the stuff that you wake up and you see it's got a 20% on Metacritic.
Yeah.
Like, you see Jigsaw or Saw 18.
Yeah.
That doesn't interest me, but it
Man,
follows.
I remember a specific scene in. So I'm a huge like classic horror villain fan,
Yeah.
like Freddy, Jason, like Candyman,
That's-
and Leatherface and stuff like that. So that Friday the 13th remake was like one of the worst things I've ever seen, and I was like, I don't know, it was like 2008 when that came out. I was like 8, right? So when I saw that, right, there's like that entire movie can be summed up in this one sex scene that happens where it's super long and fucking really like annoying, and the guy is just saying, "Girl, your titties are so good. They could win a titty competition," and I was just like, "Oh my fucking god, what is this movie?"
Holy shit.
Maybe you're just saying it's annoying because you can't jack off to it.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's not enough anime.
No.
in this. There's no
Yeah.
Japanese schoolgirls.
Good horror anime, please.
the girl doesn't have a penis, so I can't do it.
Kind of ruined the immersion for me. Oh boy, it's pretty crazy.
Mhm.
Damn, I can't believe we, like, despite hating horror so much, we've like got all these horror stories. Horror
yeah.
at the end of the day.
Aditya, do you have any good horror stories?
Well, nothing supernatural's really happened, like on my end. But yeah, I love watching horror movies. I know like a shit ton about horror movies because I don't know, I just had this phase where I was like about the most disturbing Asian horror movies I could find, and those tended
Oh,
to
yeah,
be the
same.
wackier ones because for mainstream they're a little more
Yeah.
Underground.
So
Cool.
The thing about like this kind of horror stars is like stuff like I remember I was in that phase too, but I was looking at stuff like the Russian sleeper experiments, spending
Oh yeah.
hours listening to like someone audibly describe that stuff, or like dark web horror stories. That
Well,
one.
then,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
You can call them creepypastas, Joseph. It's okay to call them creepypastas.
No, but it's like when someone reads them, like narrates them for like half an hour, or like
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. I want to plug a YouTube channel real quick because I love it so much. It's called Nightmind.
yeah.
If you're
I know that
into
one.
like web horror stuff, like this guy covers it all and he's really extensive about it. So check it out. Like he's amazing.
Yeah, I really need to like get into those kind of stories. I feel like if I watch Quiet Place and It Follows, I'll probably get into it a bit, but I'll
Oh, yeah.
probably still want go like
Mm.
beyond stuff that I don't really
Oh
want to.
man, speaking of the deep web, do you guys remember that whole I think it was called Sad Satan or something? It was this really weird horror game that came out that showed up on the deep web. And what happened was like, well, first of all, like it would show like snuff pictures and stuff, like out of nowhere as
Yeah.
jump scares with like random screaming because it's like a bad game in general.
Yeah.
But I remember people like reporting that it would like, what would it do? It would like infect your computer with a virus, and it was just like some really messed up stuff, man. Like,
That's
Video games-
that's one of the reasons why I tend to stay away from the dark web because
Yeah.
there's just so much shit in there
Yeah.
relating
Yeah.
to stuff that can harm your computer, and I
Yeah.
can't like my
Definitely.
computer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like my data too.
yeah, it's all right.
It's alright.
It's all right.
Good stories though.
I mean, there's one thing about it's just a convenient place to buy your black tar heroin, but it's just, I just prefer to support local businesses,
Oh,
I
yeah.
get the old lady down the street, she makes homemade black tar heroin, it's great.
Oh, so you don't import from Mexico?
No, I think I'm a nationalist, I'm a localist, I support local business.
It is all natural.
I don't use Pornhubs, I only get my news from locally sourced hoes.
Jesus Christ.
Some tots.
Do you use something like Tinder for sex?
Have you seen what I look like, Ben? Do you think I use Tinder for sex?
Come on, guys. You use this Tinder for sex? Come on, guys.
I use it to
Oh,
judge
man.
people.
He used Tinder for video games.
Yeah.
We play video games.
Hey Tim, you want to play Fortnite?
Yeah. It's like, hi, nice to meet you. Want to play Fortnite? We're going to Tilted Towers before it gets destroyed. It'll be
Tilted Towers was like my favorite part of Fortnite.
and it's
Again,
gonna
yeah.
die. It's gonna be destroyed on the 16th of
Gonna
April.
die.
Oh boy. Well, guys, I think we've been going for about an hour now.
Are we?
So,
Shit.
Yeah.
We are 5 minutes shy of an hour.
so yeah, I think we'll bring up a final closing topic, and then we'll ease out of things. But
Okay.
what we're on about mature subjects in general, and since we are a gaming site, let's
Are we?
let's
What's your
combine-
favorite titties in gaming?
No, let's combine two things: mature games and the Nintendo Switch.
Uh-huh.
Does it work? Should they keep doing it, or should they keep making free age plus The Incredibles 2 the video game?
I think there's space for everything on the Switch. There really is. I think there's nothing like it out there.
Mhm.
So if you want to make a mature game that uses Switch control schemes, it's not like you can just put it on the mature Switch.
Yeah,
It just is what it is. I think releasing Mad World did not stop people from buying Super Mario Galaxy. You know what I mean? Back on the Wii.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like there's nothing wrong with Nintendo pushing a more mature. Because half the people that buy Switches nowadays are adults as well. Think about it. More
Oh,
people
yeah.
I know are excited to buy a Switch than they are excited to buy an Xbox or a PlayStation. You know, like.
I think something
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
also got to remember is that most games consoles, they actually ended up starting with content for younger people anyway, and
Yeah.
then went into the more mature stuff.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like they kind of took a
Oh, yeah.
risk doing mature stuff. It's like, oh, will the audience really respond to this? Is there an audience? People.
I mean, I think Nintendo like has its ears out for that kind of stuff. Like even with like when the Wii U was out, right? They
Oh,
they
yeah,
gave Bayonetta sexy Princess Peach and Samus and Link costumes and all that stuff, right?
To be fair,
and-
the Wii U, one of the launch titles was Zombie U, which was an 18.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was like a Rabbids spin-off, wasn't it?
Mm,
Like a weird, like, called Killer Freaks from Outer Space, I think, was like the original title. Then they
Huh.
completely retrofitted it. Yeah, Zombie U was originally called Killer Freaks from Outer Space.
all
What
right.
the hell?
Yeah.
It's just kind of a bog standard zombie game, you know, with the survival.
It wasn't
Kinda
bog standard, it was pretty fun, kind of like a roguelike
kinda good.
thing, where
Yeah, it was essentially a roguelike.
if your character died, that character was
Oh,
dead,
right.
but they would become a zombie, so you want your stuff back, you'd have to find and kill that zombie that was your old character.
And he was like substantially stronger, right?
I think so. It's been a while.
Yeah. It's a good game.
That was a cool game. But yeah, I
Yeah,
did just
but,
buy
like-
Bayonetta as well for the Switch, so there's definitely an audience on the Switch for these kind of
I mean, like,
titles.
I just going back to Detention, right? Like, that is a very mature, like, psychological horror game about a young girl and where she lives, which is like 1960s Taiwan, which is like under martial law and stuff. So the horror aspects of that game, like, coincide with like the setting, right? It's essentially talking about the setting and a commentary on it.
It's more of a
and-
narrative horror.
Yeah, it's more of a narrative horror, but like, see, like, even stuff like that, like, it has a place on the Switch. Like, it's really good.
Yeah, well, I think there's a game that Luke streamed last year. It was about an asylum, and you were basically like experiencing the whole asylum experience from the point of view of a mental institute person, and it was really sort of disturbing. I remember when Luke was playing it, he said that he was like really disturbed, and they did just recently release that on the Switch.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did. It
Oh,
came
good.
out
I'm gonna check it out.
originally, but now it's kind of people are just interested in that stuff. One of the top sellers of that last year was Doom on the Switch, so,
Mhm.
and Skyrim as well. Games that aren't really mature, but you know they are more of a
Yeah, it's more-
you know,
You can't not
It's
call
not Nintendo.
Skyrim mature. I mean, it's got the
Yeah.
what was it? The Argonian Maid book,
Yeah,
Lusty Argonian Maid.
50 Shades of Scales, like.
yeah. No 5-year-old's going to be playing Doom on the Switch. Let's be real, with gyro controls and.
I wouldn't call
punching the hell
Doom
out of
mature, but
demons.
maybe that's because I just imagine like teenagers when I think of Doom.
Yeah,
Nah,
I'd
that's a good
imagine
game.
recent Doom.
That's a
would be more
real
mature.
good game. I mean, like, it's not really mature. It's just like gory, I guess.
Yeah,
Mm.
you can get past
that's
gore.
that's one of the sides of horror I will be happy to go into because I'm fine with gore,
And,
whereas jump scares are what I don't like about horror.
Once you're okay with gore, I think you're okay with gore. It's not those things that can get a lot worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
It can,
I mean,
obviously.
I think there should be a differentiation between like mature games and games with like risque content in it. Like, so let's say like a mature game, like let's say What Remains of Edith Finch, right? That would fit on the Switch, right? And I believe Nintendo would think that would fit on the Switch because it's like a really nice narrative-driven experience, blah blah blah.
Game, yeah.
Yeah. But like maybe stuff like I don't know, hatred or I don't know, something really
Yeah,
like
Something
violent
really
and
out
like
there.
not appealing to like anyone
Yeah.
or a
Something-
very niche
yeah,
audience of like
you're
violent
right.
people.
Bayonetta
That,
is
they would still avoid that.
shooting and fighting things, but it's not
Angels,
going
yeah.
to send a bad message to anyone, like
Yeah.
as a teenager.
But then again, Manhunt 2 was on the Wii, so
I did not know that actually.
yeah.
Wasn't
Half-Life
Manhunt
2 is on
completely
the
banned
Switch.
at one point?
Yes, the Manhunt first one, I believe, was banned in.
Yeah, Manhunt was wild. Manhunt gave me nightmares when I was like really young.
Yeah, see that I don't see. I don't see them something like Manhunt on the Switch. I don't even see it on the PlayStation or the Xbox. To be fair,
Mm.
it's one of
I
those
think
I just
that-
sort of see and avoid.
Yeah, I think it's just something that's completely dropped out because of the fact that it went just that bit too far.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
like trying to draw the line. It's like if like Bayonetta was like having sex. It's like it wouldn't really. It would take away from the rest of the game in that respect because
Yeah.
it doesn't take itself too seriously. But
Yeah,
if,
yeah,
you,
yeah.
if you did that and didn't make it cheesy in a way, then there's no reason it should be on a Nintendo console or even really any console. It
Yeah.
doesn't really have a fit.
But then again, like if you look at like the upcoming games that are coming out for the Switch, like you have a Senran Kagura game that is like just a dating sim, I think, where you like touch anime girls sensually with HD Rumble, and then you have like Galgun, where you shoot girls with euphoria so their panties fall off and stuff. So
Yeah. You see, when you say that, I just kind of smile and laugh, like thinking of the game. If I imagine hatred or Manhunt, I'm not like, haha, that's funny. That's just there's sort of something kind of funny about that, even if it's not for me or something I'd ever want to play. It's just sort of charming.
It's
Oh, yeah.
charming in how
So-
kind of how grown up it thinks it is. Like
Yeah.
hatred, especially. Just you look at it and you think, "Oh God, someone made this," and I don't think they were in on the irony. You know what I
oh
mean?
yeah.
It's like someone seriously made this game.
Yeah, someone spent time conceptualizing, programming, debugging this game, putting effort into it. They made all the models, and made all the design decisions, and they put it up on Steam. They got it published.
That reminds me of
And
one
it-
of the, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a really slutty game and you're running around with a chainsaw.
What?
Lollipop Chainsaw?
Yeah, I think that's it, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Oh, that
it.
game's
So
great.
that's what is it? Who's the guy that made Suda51?
51.
Yeah,
I remember you get an achievement in that game for trying to look up her skirt.
you
So
do. Yeah.
it's like permanently on your Xbox account, and
Permanently on your account that you're a perv.
yeah,
Yeah.
guys, this guy tried to look up a virtual character's skirt.
I was trying to achievement hunt, guys. Get 100%. Oh my god.
I did not buy that game purely for that reason. That
Near
I-
Automata did that as well
Oh no.
Like- with the whole skirt thing.
Yeah.
But Near Automata is created by a huge pervert, so it was all good.
Everyone's like, aha, classic. Not,
Classic
not
Yoko.
surprised. Oh boy. I know, that was mature games. An interesting topic. But,
Yeah.
guys, let's round this all up. What are we all excited for in the upcoming weeks? What are our plans?
Well, I'm going to wait for God of War. That's
Yeah,
about it.
God of War's the next thing on my radar.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still
'Cause
actually
I
to play Far Cry 5, but I'm probably going to get God of War first.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna check out Far Cry 5. I own that, and I have yet to play it, but I will probably go play that now.
Yeah. I need to beat Bayonetta 2 as well.
Yes, I need to play
Like
Bayonetta.
halfway through that.
So, sounds fun. Sounds fun. Well, this was the Respawning UK podcast number 1. Insert title here at a later point in the editing. Someone edit the title of the podcast into that, and edit this out too, or leave it in. It's an ironic joke. Get it? Because I'm still gonna edit it out.
How
but
meta.
do it.
We're breaking the fourth wall.
Pretty
Ooh.
funny.
Oh,
Hey
Reggie.
guys, we're like Deadpool.
It's pretty funny. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. My name is Joseph. I've been here with Aditya. Ben, Salman, and Will. And we hope you check out our reviews sometime.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Everyone say goodbye. With.
Bye.
Bye. I'm actually waving.
Same.
Doodle-doo.